Hello and welcome to GameGen. Today we're talking about some awesome RPGs coming in 2025. Whether you love open worlds, cool stories, or customizing your character, there's a lot to be excited about. So sit back, relax, and let's check them out. Showa American Story. First up, we've got Showa American Story. This one's a total fever dream, and I mean that in the best way possible. Picture this, a post-apocalyptic version of America, except it's been taken over by 1980s Japanese culture. Yeah, it's as wild as it sounds. You play as Choco, a badass girl who comes back to life after a mysterious incident and is now slicing and dicing her way through hordes of zombies, mutants, and other crazy enemies. The gameplay mixes hack-and-slash combat with some over-the-top weapons and insane stunts. Seriously, it feels like an 80s action movie brought to life. But what's really cool is that the world is packed with personality. You've got quirky towns, arcades, and even ramen shops to explore. It's chaotic, it's colorful, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, which makes it such a fun ride. Solasta II. Solasta Crown of the Magister may not have reached the massive success of Baldur's Gate 3, but it carved out a niche with its tactical, turn-based gameplay and faithful adaptation of D&D's rule set. The sequel promises a bigger budget, improved visuals, and larger open areas to explore in the world of Nyokos, all while maintaining the tactical depth of its predecessor. While Baldur's Gate 3 focuses on choice-driven storytelling, Solasta II emphasizes a faithful recreation of D&D mechanics, making it a perfect pick for players seeking a more structured experience. With the CRPG genre enjoying a revival thanks to Baldur's Gate 3, Solasta II is well positioned to attract a broader audience when it launches in early access in 2025. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Next up, we've got a game that's been on so many wish lists for ages, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Now, I know, it's been a long road with delays and development shifts, but the good news? The game is finally happening, and it looks incredible. Set in a dark, gritty version of Seattle, you'll be stepping into the shadowy world of vampires, navigating political intrigue, rival clans, and your own thirst for blood. The RPG elements are front and center here. You'll be making choices that can completely shape your relationships and the overall story. The gameplay blends first-person action with supernatural powers, stealth, and dialogue-heavy interactions. Whether you're charming your way through social situations or unleashing chaos with devastating vampire abilities. Hey, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more like it, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel and lets me know you want more content like this. Alright, back to the video. The First Berserker, Khazan. The First Berserker Khazan, a game that oozes raw Viking energy. This one is all about stepping into the boots of Khazan, a fierce warrior on a mission to reclaim his honor and uncover the truth about his mysterious past. It's brutal, it's visceral, and it's packed with that Norse-inspired vibe. The combat here is where the game really shines. It's a mix of fast, skill-based melee and powerful berserker abilities. You'll be wielding massive weapons, pulling off insane combos, and going head-to-head with monstrous foes in some truly cinematic battles. But it's not all about fighting. The world building is top-notch too. There are sprawling landscapes to explore, from icy tundras to ancient ruins, each filled with lore and secrets. WUCHANG Fallen Feathers. Next, we're diving into the hauntingly beautiful world of WUCHANG Fallen Feathers. This game is like a dark fairy tale brought to life, set in the waning days of the Ming Dynasty in China. The story revolves around a mysterious plague that causes people to grow feathers. Yeah, it's as eerie as it sounds. The gameplay blends intense, Souls-like combat with a rich, atmospheric world. You'll be taking on grotesque, feathered enemies, and every battle feels like a test of skill and strategy. Timing your dodges, parries, and strikes is key. And let me tell you, the boss fights look absolutely epic. What really stands out though is the art direction. The environments are stunning, filled with intricate architecture and eerie, otherworldly vibes. Avowed. Ah yes, the highly anticipated RPG from Obsidian Entertainment. If you loved the Elder Scrolls or Pillars of Eternity, this game is basically a dream come true. Set in the world of Eora, Avowed is bringing us a first-person RPG experience that's all about freedom, exploration, and epic storytelling. The gameplay is packed with everything you'd expect from a top-tier RPG: intense combat, customizable magic systems, and the ability to shape your own path through a sprawling open world. Whether you want to be a spell-slinging mage, a sword-wielding warrior, or something in between, the game gives you the tools to play your way. Plus, Obsidian is known for crafting incredible narratives, so you can bet there'll be tough moral choices, memorable characters, and story that sticks with you long after the credits roll. The Outer Worlds 2. If you loved the first game's sarcastic humor, ridiculous corporate satire, and those oh-so-satisfying dialogue choices, then you're in for a treat. Obsidian is back at it again, delivering another sci-fi RPG packed with snark, charm, and plenty of moral dilemmas. This time around, they're taking us to a brand new solar system with fresh planets, new factions, and, of course, an updated arsenal of absurdly over-the-top weapons. Expect everything from plasma rifles that melt enemies to melee weapons that zap, slice, or, well, explode. The storytelling is just as sharp as before, and they've promised even more freedom to shape your journey. Whether you're a smooth-talking diplomat, a chaotic mercenary, or a kleptomaniac hoarder who loots everything that isn't nailed down, the game adapts to your choices. Borderlands 4. Next up, we're diving into the chaos of Borderlands 4. You know the drill, it's all about looting, shooting, and laughing your way through a ridiculous story. This time, Gearbox is cranking up the mayhem to 11 with even crazier weapons, more over-the-top characters, and a whole new layer of chaos. The gunplay, it's bigger and better than ever. We're talking guns that spawn miniguns, weapons that sprout legs and chase enemies, and even more absurd combinations that'll make you laugh out loud while decimating your foes. And the humor? It's classic Borderlands. Loud, irreverent, and unapologetically ridiculous. The game is bringing back fan-favorite characters while introducing some fresh faces, including a new villain who's already shaping up to be both hilarious and terrifying. Lost Soul Aside. Lost Soul Aside, a game that's pure eye candy and adrenaline from start to finish. This action RPG has been turning heads since its first reveal, and for good reason. It's absolutely stunning. You play as Khazan, a lone warrior with a mysterious companion that doubles as a weapon and a living creature. The combat is lightning fast, fluid, and absolutely breathtaking, with insane combos, flashy abilities, and boss battles that'll have you on the edge of your seat. The visuals are next level, blending futuristic designs with a fantasy-inspired world. Think glowing cities, vast landscapes, and creatures that look like they stepped out of a dream, or a nightmare. It's got that Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy vibe, but with its own unique twist. Kingdom Come: Deliverance 2. If you played the first game, you know this is the series for historical accuracy nerds who also love a good underdog story. The sequel picks up right where the original left off, with Henry still trying to navigate the brutal, messy world of medieval Bohemia. Expect more of that hardcore realism that made the first game so unique. No flashy magic spells or dragon slaying here, just intense swordplay, archery, and survival in a world that feels as authentic as it gets. You'll need to eat, sleep, and make sure your armor isn't falling apart mid-battle. But what's exciting is how they're evolving the formula. The world is even bigger, with more dynamic events and NPCs who react to your actions in deeper ways. Fable. Next, let's talk about Fable. The legendary series is finally making a comeback, and honestly, it's about time. The new installment is being crafted by Playground Games, and they're bringing back everything we love about Fable. The cheeky humor, the whimsical world, and the ability to be a hero or, well, a bit of a jerk. From what I've seen, the visuals are absolutely stunning. Albion has never looked so vibrant, filled with lush forests, cozy villages, and plenty of quirky NPCs to interact with. And yes, you can still kick chickens if that's your thing. What's really exciting though is how the game will balance the familiar Fable charm with modern RPG mechanics. Whether you're completing heartfelt quests, making morally questionable decisions, or just exploring the open world. Light No Fire. And now for something completely different, Light No Fire. This game has been shrouded in mystery, but what we do know is that it's shaping up to be an atmospheric, story-driven experience like no other. Set in a hauntingly beautiful world that feels both magical and melancholic, Light No Fire is all about unraveling a deeply personal narrative. You play as a character exploring the ruins of a forgotten civilization, piecing together its history while grappling with your own inner journey. The gameplay is a mix of exploration, puzzles, and light survival mechanics, with a focus on creating an emotional connection with the world around you. The visuals are breathtaking, with a dreamlike quality that draws you in, and the soundtrack, let's just say, it'll stick with you long after you put the controller down. Gothic 1 Remake. If you're a fan of old school RPGs, this one probably hits you right in the feels. The original Gothic was a groundbreaking game back in 2001, with its gritty world, complex factions, and a protagonist thrown into a brutal penal colony surrounded by monsters. Now, the remake is here to bring that beloved classic to a new generation with a fresh coat of paint and modern gameplay. The game has been completely rebuilt with stunning visuals that capture the bleak, dangerous atmosphere of the colony. But it's not just a visual upgrade. The combat system has been reworked to feel more fluid and impactful, while still maintaining that sense of challenge that Gothic fans love. And don't worry, the developers are staying faithful to what made the original special, from the deep story to the tough moral choices and faction dynamics. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because wow, what a time to be alive. This is the second part of the FF7 Remake trilogy, and it's picking up right after the epic ending of Remake. If you thought the first part was good, brace yourself, because Rebirth is taking things to a whole new level. The game expands far beyond Midgard, letting you explore the massive open world of Gaia with gorgeous next-gen graphics that will leave you speechless. And the story? It's not just a retelling of the original anymore. It's going in bold, unexpected directions, keeping even die-hard fans on their toes. The combat system is back as well with the perfect blend of action and strategy, and the new additions, like tandem moves between characters, add even more depth. Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN. Elden Ring NIGHTREIGN was easily one of the most exciting reveals at the Game Awards, especially for anyone who's been itching for a fresh multiplayer twist on the Elden Ring formula. This spin-off takes you back to a revamped version of Limgrave, where you can team up to face classic and new FromSoft bosses. Each session is short, about 30 minutes, with randomized characters and an epic final boss you pick before starting. Sounds perfect for co-op fun, right? Well, there is a catch. You can only play solo or in teams of 3. Yep, unfortunately no duos allowed. The 3-player setup though sparked plenty of jokes online, with fans calling it the ultimate third-wheel simulator. It's classic From Software making things just a little more complicated than they need to be, but in a way that somehow works. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave a comment below if any of these games caught your eye, or if there are other upcoming releases you'd like to hear about. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing for more gaming content in the future. Thanks for watching.